Good morning, dear children. We have already completed the prose 2 part 1 session. Today we are going to see the part 2 of prose 2. That is, the title of the lesson is The Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. In the last part 1 we have seen about a girl who is physically disabled, Evelyn Glennie, and she is a precautionist. In this lesson we are going to see about the legendary player of Shehnai, who is none other than Bismillah Khan. So let me explain about Bismillah Khan now. His full name is Ustad Bismillah Khan. He is a legendary player of Shehnai. Let me tell about Bismillah Khan. He is a renowned Shehnai player in India. He is a legend. Because, why I am telling he is a legend? Because he played the Shehnai on the day of India got independence, that is 15th August 1947 at Red Fort, before our first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Before his speech, our Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai in order to signify something auspicious. That's why he was called as a legendary player of Shehnai. His full name is Ustad Bismillah Khan. Today we are going to see his biography about in this lesson. Let's see now. Before you read, do you know these people? What instruments do they play? Here we have so many musicians. They are specialized in some instruments. So in this category of instrumentalists, at last we are seeing the character of our Bismillah Khan. We are going to see his own biography in this lesson. How he become a famous person, how he was called as a legend, everything that we are going to see in detail in this prose. See the content here. Think of the Shehnai, and the first thing you will probably imagine it is a wedding or a similar occasion or a function. So Shehnai is familiar and famous for weddings and for functions and celebration. Definitely there will be some Shehnai player and the music will be played in the auspicious occasions. So the next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan. So when you think of Shehnai, definitely the first person coming to our mind is none other than our Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai maestro. He is a maestro in this, playing this instrument. He is the Ustad Bismillah Khan. If you want to see the picture, yeah, our Ustad Bismillah Khan. Here, let's see this lesson starting paragraph of the first point. The Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of the musical instrument called Punji in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. So, first in the beginning, in the olden days, it was banned by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. He is the Mughal Emperor, the King Aurangzeb, who banned our instrument Punji in the royal residence, for it had a shrill and unpleasant sound. Why it is being unpleasant? Because shrill means it is the sharp, unpleasant sound it produces. So he banned the instrument Punji become a generic name for reader noisemakers. So generic name. What does mean by generic name? A name given to a class or a group as a whole. For example, if a medicine when you take paracetamol is the generic name of the medicine. Likewise, here Punji is a generic name that was given to this instrument. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. What is meant by revived? Definitely it will. Here we are seeing that it has a generic name for reeded noisemaker. What is meant by reeded? Wind instruments. Here we have glossary meaning for the word. Wind instruments which have reeds like flute, the carmanen, etc. So the reeded means the long windy instruments that once when a person can blow the air, with the help of the air it will make some melodious sound, that is called reeded noisemaker. So here Punji is a unpleasant, so it gives some unpleasant noise. So the king emperor Aurangzeb, he banned it. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. That's what I said. Here revived means that will be bring back to the place. That means it will be renovated, it will be changed, and it will be brought back to the court, the royal residence of the king. A barber of a family of professional musician. So here the first character, the barber, a barber who of a family of professional musician who had access to the royal palace, decided to. So the person who is a barber, the character who is bringing back the pungi with to the royal palace, and he just improved the tonal quality of pungi. What he did? He chose a pipe. So he is just changing, renovating, reviving it as into a different another musical instrument. He is just changing pungi as he chose a pipe. How he is making that pungi as the shenai into shenai as shenai. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem. He chose a pipe with the natural hollow stem. It was longer and broader than pungi. So it was very long. The pipe was very long and broad. Not like pungi, it's some to the extent than pungi. It is somewhat big and long and broad, and makes 7 holes on the body of the pipe. He is making 7 holes in the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening, I told you here, reeded instruments, noisemakers here. What does it mean? It means by the blow of air, the person can make the sound, melodious music. So here he played on it by closing and opening. Even usually in the flute, you would have seen that the player has to close and open the holes, then only he will get the beautiful music. Here the same way, he is taking a pipe longer than pungi, and he made some 7 holes. He just made some 7 holes and he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes on some of the holes. When he opened and closing some of the holes, soft melodious sounds were produced. So from pungi, it started to produce a melodious sound. It is not the same pungi. He just changed it as different, as somewhat a slight changes has been made with the same type of pungi, and he just changed it with some holes, and he blowed that. It was changed. It started to give some melodious music So he played the instrument before the royalty. Royalty means before the king, before the emperor Aurangzeb. And everyone was inspired. Inspired means attracted and shocked to see the beautiful music that was coming from the new Pungi. Punji, the instrument so different from Pungi, had to be given a new name. So they are deciding to give a new name for the newly revived Pungi. That was as the story goes. Since it was first played in Shah's chamber. What is called Shah? Shah means king. King chamber, king's court. And was played by Nai. Nai means by a barber. Here, who is the person altering the pungi here? A barber. So, barber means it is in the Urdu language. It is Shah means king's court, and it was played by Nai. Nai means barber. So, Shah's Nai. Shanai. So, the instrument was named as Shanai. The new name that was given to our Pungi is, now it was changed as Shanai, because Shah is a king's court. It is played where the place it is played is Shah's court, and the person who is called as barber is called Nai. So when you join these two words, and we got Shanai. Shanai. This is what our Pungi, and the changed over, the revived used instrument or Shanai is this one. So if you want to see the picture, I'll show you here. This is our Pungi, and you would have seen here this type of Pungi, that this type of instrument can be played by snake. You would have seen this. This is similar like our snake, the instrument that is used by snake charmer. Snake charmer means an entertainer who appears to make snakes move by playing music. So when you play this music, immediately the snake started to dance, and this is called pungi, the old instrument. Then afterwards it was changed as Shanai. Sorry. This is our new instrument, Shanai. This is the changeover, revived instrument. Some modification has been done, and it was changed as somewhat long, broad, and with 7 holes are there. So now it is called as Shanai. Let us move on to the pros now. So the first point was over, how it was changed as Shanai. Pungi is changed by a barber. It was changed by a barber, and it started. He just made some alteration in the instrument, and finally it was played in the Shah's court, and it was played by a barber. That is called as Nai. Barber was called as Nai. So when you join these two words together, as it got a new name called as Shanai. The second point, let's see now. The sound of the Shanai began to be considered auspicious. So this Shanai, the new modern Shanai, is new arrival. It was very familiarized and popular everywhere, and it will be played in so many auspicious situations like wedding, temples, so many areas. They started to use this Shanai, and for this reason it is still played in temples. So this Shanai, we would have seen here in India also. We used to tell it as Nadaswaram. So it is the small type of, I think it is the small type of Nadaswaram. So Nadaswaram is the instrument that we as Indian, we people in our culture, we used to play in some auspicious situation, auspicious places like weddings, when the temple, so many areas. So same like here, Shanai was popularized in so many areas, and still it is played in some of the temples also, and an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. So it is a So unseparable. See, indispensable means without which a place of work cannot be done. So everywhere, if it is a wedding, definitely there will be a Shanai. Player will be there, he will be playing the Shanai. So this is what indispensable means. It cannot be removed from the auspicious places. The occasional, special occasions, definitely we can see this Shanai. In the past, the Shanai was the part of Nobet or traditional ensemble. Resemblance is otherwise called as ensemble. The meaning for ensemble also here it is pronounced ensemble. Things here instrument consider as a group. So many Shanai players, so many variety of instruments will be played, and 9 instruments found at royal court. This such Shanai like instruments has been introduced in the royal court. Till recently it was used only in temples and weddings. Now it is being used in so many temples and weddings even today also. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. It was changed by a barber, but the full credit has started to explode, and it is being spreaded by a character, by a person who is none other than our protagonist of this people, Ustad Bismillah Khan. So it was fully popularized because of this character or Ustad Bismillah Khan. So that's all from the second point. Let us move on to the third point. As a 5-year-old, so now we are going to see about our Ustad Bismillah Khan's childhood. The third point, we are going to see about his childhood, how he was known to the Shanai and how he started to play. Everything we'll be seeing hereafter. As 5-year-old boy, Ustad Khan, Bismillah Khan, played gilli danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumron in Bihar. So what is meant by gilli danda? I'll show you the picture of gilli danda. Now we are telling it as kittipillu. In India, we used to children, boys, especially small boys and elder boys used to play this gilli danda. This is gilli danda. So who is playing here? Our Bismillah Khan when he was 5 years old, where he used to play near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumron. Dumron is the birthplace of Bismillah Khan. Dumron is the birthplace of Bismillah Khan. It is in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Biharji. Biharji means is a temple. He used to go nearby a temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita. Chaita means song. Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn big laddu weighing 1.225 kg a prize given by local Maharaja. So from his childhood, he used to get some rewards often because of he is interested to sing songs. So I see here, he would regularly go to the nearby Biharji temple. He used to go nearby temple that is called Biharji temple. There he used to sing Bhojpuri Chaita. Bhojpuri, he used to sing songs there. At the end, at last he completed his singing. He used to get some big laddus from the local Maharaja. What is the weight of the laddu is? The weight of the laddu is 1.25 kg. And it happened 80. So this was the childhood experience and how he got rewards. What he got reward? A big laddu. This was happened in his 5 years old, when he was a 5 years old boy. Later, this happened. This is the later in his old age. This happened 80 years ago. This happened 18 years ago. A little boy who had traveled. So this was 18 after 80 years. The same thing happened. The little boy has traveled far to earn highest civilian award. After 80 years, the same Ustad Bismillah Khan, he received highest India's civilian award. What is that? The Bharat Ratna. He received a highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna, for his legendary musical travel. So this is what in the third point. Let's see the fourth point. Now we are going to see about the birth of the Ustad Khan. He was born on 21 March 1916. When he was born on 21 March 1916. Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians. So it is not only by his own interest, it is the genetical interest and that was already in his blood. He is a musician. He came from a family of musicians. So he belonged to a family of musicians from Bihar. So where he was born in Dumuran in Bihar. His grandfather, what about his grandfather? Rasul Baks Khan. Rasul Baks Khan was the Shenai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's Court. So he was his grandfather Rasul Baks Khan, he is also a Shenai Nawaz player in the Bhojpur King's Court when he was a small boy. And about his father Paigambar Baks and the other paternal ancestor. Paternal means here the father relations. On the side of father's relatives are called paternal ancestors, were also great Shenai players. So all his father's relatives, all the father's ancestors are also the Shenai players, great Shenai players. So it is not only the interest of our Bismillah Khan, even it was he already came from a musical family. All his ancestors are all musicians. So this was the fourth point. Let's go to the fifth point. The young boy took the music early in life. So he started his career lifetime when he was a boy. He started as a musician in this early life. At the age of 3, see here, at the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house. Here maternal means mother's relations. Mother's brother or mother's sister, it can be whatever it may be, but it is the relatives of mother side. Paternal means father relatives are called paternal ancestors. Here maternal means mother's relatives like uncle's house. He is going to his uncle's house. Where it is in Benares. Now it is called Varanasi. Now we are calling it as Varanasi. See here, I'll show you the picture of Varanasi now. This is the Benares. Now it is called as Varanasi. Here we can see the river Ganga. It's flowing nearby. So let's start move from the Benares. So he reached his maternal uncle's house when he was age 3. When he was 3, he went to his uncle's house. It was in Benares. Now it is called as Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncle's practice in the Shenai. So from his age of 3, he used to observe and attracted by his uncle practice the Shenai. So he used to watch and fascinated the practice that has been made by his uncle in the instrument Shenai. So it was attracted in his young age itself. He got attraction in his young age itself. That leads him to make a big musician later. Soon Bismillah started. So after watching his uncle's practice, soon Bismillah also started accompanying his uncle Ali Baks. So now only they are telling the uncle's name. His name is Ali Bucks. To the Vishnu temple. He used to take him to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Bucks was employed to play the Shehnai. Yes. Now about Ali Bucks. The uncle, maternal uncle Ali Bucks, he used to take our Ustad Bismillah Khan along with him to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Bucks was employed to play the Shehnai, where he got the interest, and he fascinated his uncle's playing of Shehnai. Then Ali Bucks would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated. Captivated means attracted and fascinated, observed everything for hours on end. What is my on end? For a long time, till the day gets over, for a very long time without stopping. He used to sit and watch, observe, fascinate, captivate the melody music of the Shehnai. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. Now our Bismillah Khan also started to practice throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangalamaya. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangalamaya, these are all temples name, and the banks of Ganga. And the banks of Ganga. So nearby Varanasi, I show you the picture of Ganga river. So nearby these temples, there is a bank. So nearby the temple itself, the bank of Ganga became the young practice favorite hunts, where he could practice in solitude. So for a long time he used to sit separately. Solitude means alone, without anybody. He used to practice. Favorite hunts means favorite songs to and apprentice, young apprentice. He became an young apprentice. Apprentice means practicing, or trainer, we can say, young trainer. As a young trainer, Bismillah Ustad also sat with his uncle Ali Bucks and started to hunt. Hunts means song, music or song, favorite songs, where he could practice in solitude. Solitude means alone, without anybody. The flowing water of Ganga inspired him. While he playing Shehnai, he was inspired by the beauty of the Ganga river. Him to improvise the invent ragas. So he himself improvised the music, and he found out so many ragas on his own by the inspiration of the Ganga, that were yearly considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. So he took the Shehnai to the next level, to the next range, and he found out so many ragas with the instrument Shehnai. This is from the fifth point. This was the picture of Benares. Now it is called as Varanasi. I'll show this picture already. And this was the place where our Ustad Bismillah Khan was born, Dumron in Bihar. Then this was the Bhojpuri temple I told you. Where he played, he used to sing some in his in the age of 5. Here, this is the place called Bhojpuri temple. This is Bhojpuri temple. Here only he sang some songs, Bhojpuri Chaita, and he got some big laddus weighing 1.25 kg. This is the picture of this Bhojpuri temple. Okay, let's start the sixth point again. From the sixth point, at the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle. Who is his uncle? That maternal uncle, Ali Bucks, to the Allahabad music conference. So in the age of 14, Bismillah, along with his uncle, he went to Allahabad music conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Fiaz Khan. Ustad Fiaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard, you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio, with the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938, came Bismillah's big break. So he, in the age of, in the year of 1938, he joined in the All India Radio in Lucknow, where that was the breakthrough of Bismillah in the Bismillah. Here he started his career first in the radio station in the air. He played his beautiful music. It was in the radio station as the first of his lifetime career. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. So he was become famous and popular in the radio station where he used to play as a player, Shehnai player. He was become from there he started his career and became a famous personality of this instrumentation. At the age of 14, again repeating, Bismillah accompanied his uncle and they both went to this Allahabad music conference. At the end of his recital, at the end of the music played by Bismillah Khan, Ustad Fiaz Khan patted the king of that Allahabad court. He appreciated and he patted that young boy at his back and said, "Work hard, you shall make it." This was the first appreciation got by the Ustad Fiaz Khan, and he started his career in All India Radio in Lucknow in the year of 1938, and it was the big breakthrough in his life, and he was become a famous familiar person in the air as a Shehnai player. So that's all from the 6th point. 7th point, when India gained independence. So this is in India. This incident happened in India. That's what we called him as legend. I told you in the beginning of this lesson. When India gained independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. So he only the first person who played the musical instrument Shehnai, and he welcomed to show his happiness as the auspicious occasion. He poured his heart out into the rag. So where he played this rag kafi. So kafi is a raga where he played in the court in the Red Fort to the audience, which included Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru also there, who later gave his famous Tyrus with Destiny speech. So before giving that Tyrus and Destiny speech, he started the meeting with this musical instrument Shehnai. He is the player, or Ustad Bismillah Khan played the music, played the heart-filling melodious music, the raga name called as Rag Kafi, in the place of Red Fort in front of the audience, and even the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, as well as Gandhiji were there at that occasion. After the musical instrument was played, later he gave his famous Tires with Destiny speech. So he gave his speech. This was from the 7th point. Bismillah Khan to the 8th point, Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. So he was become famous and familiar, well popular all over India, and he gone across the world and to all the other abroad countries also, not only in India, in all other outside countries also. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan. So the place where he first traveled is Afghanistan, where the King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. So he gave some memorable gifts to our maestro, Ustad the Afghanistan king given the priceless things to our maestro Ustad Khan. The king of Afghanistan was not only one of to be fascinated by Bismillah's music, and after this incident happened, a film director Vijay Bhatt, the film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah's playing music at the festival, and that he named a film. He just gave a name for a film after the instrument called. So not only the person, the Afghanistan king Zahir Shah fascinated, but also so many people in that place were attracted, and he got some memorable presents of Afghanistan things like priceless Persian carpets and souvenir. That was as a memorable one that he came for a first abroad visit to Afghanistan for the first time. That to be as a memorable one, he gave this priceless gifts to our Bismillah Khan. Then the film director Vijay Bhatt, he is also fascinated. So he was just gave a film name as Gunj Udi Shenai. Gunj Udi Shenai is a Hindi movie, and he gave this name for a movie as he was fascinated by his musical instrument and by Bismillah Khan. The next thing, the film was a hit. So this film was a hit, and one of the Bismillah Khan's composition is Dil Ka Kilano Hai To Gaya. So this movie was Gayaj Udis Shenai. Gayaj Udis Shenai is the movie directed by Vijay Dutt. And his famous composition is Dil Ka Kilona Hai Tot Gaya. Dil Ka Kilona Hai Tot Gaya turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Chartbuster means record breaker. Here it is. We used to say blockbuster, boxbuster, like that. So here it is the nationwide chartbuster. This song, it was composed by our Ustad Khan in his instrument Shenai. Despite this huge success in his celluloid world means inside the world, throughout the world, Bismillah Khan's venture means it's a project that often involve risk. Ventures in film music were limited to Vijay Dutt's Gunj Udi Shenai and Vikram Srinivas. So this Gunaj Udi Shenai is a Hindi movie directed by Vijay Dutt, and another movie it was by Vikram Srinivas. It was a Kannada movie venture, that is Sannadi Appana. It was another movie that was about the Shenai musician Bismillah Khan and the musical instrument. About the musical instrument, I just cannot come to terms with the artificiality. So he doesn't like our Ustad doesn't like about this artificial world and also glamour of a film world. So he doesn't like, so he came back outside. He says with emphasis means he pinpointed again with some restriction, and this was from the 8th point. Then let us start the 9th point here. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. When throughout his, not only in India, throughout the world, he started to travel everywhere, throughout the world, to all the countries. Then from that he came thick and fast, and world recognized him, and he started to receive so many awards and rewards. And Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall. So he is the first person, a prestigious person, to perform the musical instrument in the Lincoln Center Hall in United States of America. So he is the first person from India to be played, and he was called to the Lincoln Center Hall in America, and also took part in World Exposition in Montreal. Montreal is in Australia, and in Cannes Art Festival, and in Alaska Trade Fair. This is in Japan. So not only in India, he gone through and he spread out his musical melodious music all through the world, like America, Australia, Japan. So well known did he become internationally. He become famous internationally, that all the auditorium in Tehran. So Tehran is in Iran. Tehran is in Iran, was named after him. After he performed his music in Tehran, it was named after him Tahar Mosque Ustad Bismillah Khan. The Tehran Musical Center has changed, auditorium name was changed as Tahar Mosque Ustad Bismillah Khan. It was changed his name. So the auditorium name was changed because of the performance of our Ustad Bismillah Khan as his remembrance. So the next, the 10th point, national awards like Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan were conferred to him. So conferred means given, usually an award or a degree. So it was these also. So not only Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award, he was awarded with Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, all the awards, great highest awards he received in India. The 11th point, in 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's, already it was given, it was shown in the last paragraph also, again it is repeating. In 2001, in the year of 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. So this is the India's highest civilian award for his spectacular talent by playing the instrument Shehnai, with the coveted award resting on his chest. So all the great important, most precious awards has been given to him, and his eyes glinting. And after receiving the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award, his eyes glinting means shining with rare happiness, he said. His eyes started to glinting, shining. Glinting means shining. All I would like to say is, so he gave some words after he received the Bharat Ratna. He told that teach your children music. So what is the advice? What is the comment he gave that to after he received the Bharat Ratna? He's telling that teach your children to the world. In his voice, he said, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. So Hindustan means India. India's richest tradition is the music. So please teach your children the music. He is requesting the public and the people, world people. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. Even the foreign countries abroad, they started to learn our music. So as Hindustan people, we should teach our kids about the tradition of our music, traditional music to the children. So this was from the 11th point. 12th point is, in spite of having traveled all over the world, Khan Sahib was he fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Benares and Dumron. So even though he traveled all over the world, he never forgot about his own hometown, that is birthplace, and where he learned the musical instrument. Benares is the place where he learned the music as full fledged, and Dumron is the birthplace of our Ustad Khan. So they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. So this is not even though he gone through across the world, he never used to forgot his wonderful town. His most wonderful town is his own birthplace and his Dumron and the Benares only. He never forget his own town place wherever he is. And the student of his once wanted him to head Chennai school in USA. So one of the student of Ustad Khan wanted him to start a school in United States of America, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere. Why? Because the Ustad wants to be in America. So he's just the student insisting him to be in America, and for that, whatever he is asking, she'll do for him. The student promising him to recreate the atmosphere of Benares by replicating means copy. As like Benares, I'll create atmosphere here in United States. So please be here, like that. It is the requisition of a student in USA. She is trying to convincing him to be here in USA, but Khan Sahib asked him if you would able to transport. Khan Sahib's telling that the atmosphere of Benares by replicating the temples there. But it can be created. The temples can be created. Is it possible to bring the river Ganga here? He is asking. So but Khan Sahib asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. He can be here. Later he remember. So this shows that how much he is lovable to Benares, how he love his own town place, and where he's learned and learned his so many ragas in river Ganga has been portrayed here. So later he is remembered to have said, that is why whenever I am in foreign country, so wherever he is in the abroad country, he is keep earning means thinking to see Hindustan. He wants to be always in India. Why? So if he is in abroad, he used to think about India, Hindustan. While he is in Mumbai, inside the India, I think only the Benares and the Holy Ganga. So if he is in Mumbai, he used to think of Benares and Holy Ganga. And while in Benares, I miss the unique of Mata F. Dumron. So wherever he goes, he used to think of the Benares and Dumron is his favorite place. He never used to come out from the place. That much he is so attached and down to the earth to the place Benares. Now it is called as Varanasi and Dumron. Ustad Bismillah Khan life is a perfect example of a rich cultural heritage, secularism. Why? Because of India, one that effortless accept that the devout Muslim like him can very naturally play Shanai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. This shows the secularity. This shows the heritage that he is a Indian who loves the cultural heritage of India. Even though he is a Muslim, he used to play to the temple, Kashi Vishwanath temple, and he play the Shanai every morning. He never used to forget that. Devote means believing strongly in the religion. Muslims, they used to be very staunch and strong on their religion. But even though he is a Muslim, he used to go, and he never forgot to go in the morning to the Kashi Vishwanath temple, and he used to pray the Shanai there every morning, obeying its laws and following its practice. This is what here. So this was about the story Ustad Bismillah Khan and the Punji Shanai, how it is transformed into Shanai, and how he learned the musical instrument, what are the success he reached, and awards he received. All the things has been portrayed here, and this is the biography of Ustad Bismillah Khan. Throughout this part 2, the Sound of Music lesson, we have seen about our character Ustad Bismillah Khan. Then at last, the questions for you here at the book back. These are the questions that was given at the book back. Kindly just go through the video, understand the thing, find out the answer, and give me your answers. Post your answers in my personal group or otherwise in the group, no problem. Just send it to my personal group, that is good. And all your answers, those who have not done it so far, please do it and send your answers immediately. That's all. Thank you.